Hello, and welcome to Building Our Future Entrepreneurs, a conversation on youth entrepreneurship. I'm the host, Kennisha Rainge, Chief of Internal Affairs for the DC Creative Affairs Office here in the District of Columbia. And before we begin, I'd like to thank the Kauffman Foundation and Start Us Up, America's New Business Plan, for their support of Global Entrepreneurship Week in this conversation. So I am so excited to get into all of this great conversation today about youth entrepreneurship and how it is so important to our city, to the world in general. But before we even begin, I would love to introduce our people that we will be talking with today. First up, we have Karleton Thomas. He's the Regional Executive Director of Build Metro DC. And we have Zannat Faria, Chief Marketing Officer and CEO of the Candle Essentials. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you both on, and I just can't wait to jump into more information and conversation about the work that you both do. But first up, we would like to show you guys a little snippet of the work that Build DC does here in the district.
At Build.org, we don't just help students build businesses with our entrepreneurship program and design challenges. We help them build confidence. We help them build character and help them build resilience. Build students, build relationships with business mentors, and build bridges to their communities that lead them to new opportunities. We're building a more diverse and inclusive workforce by helping students build the entrepreneurial skill set needed to thrive in a rapidly changing world. Now we're building out our digital offering so we can help thousands more youth build their resumes and ultimately build successful careers.
My name is Nico. I'm a young man in my 20s, currently trying to make sense of the world that we're living in.
See what we're building together with Comcast at build.org and find out how you can help us build a better future for all our young people.
All right, how cool was that? I love it. I really do love it. Karleton, you guys do amazing work, and I just can't wait. So are you ready to hop into this conversation, Karleton?
I am ready to hop into this conversation.
Okay, wonderful. So how about you start us right off and tell us about your work at the Build?
So at Build Metro DC, we utilize entrepreneurship to address the achievement and opportunity gap for students here in the District of Columbia. We work to prepare students to capitalize on career, college, and business opportunities that might come their way. We work to develop the skills of our students to get them in a position to have more control of their college and career trajectories. Like much of this pandemic has affected many of the job markets that some of our students might possibly moving into. And the whole idea behind Build Metro DC is essentially get students on a pathway to a sustainable work life that leads to one quality of life that they can be very happy and proud about.
I love that line, a pathway to a sustainable work life. I love that. So how did you even get into supporting youth in their entrepreneurship endeavors?
So I am a lifelong entrepreneur. I have launched a number of ventures in e-commerce, done a lot of bit of work in retail. And so, that work has informed much of the pathway that I've decided to take at this point in my life. I am the product of a neighborhood community that many of our students are coming out of. And the power of mentorship is one of the reasons that I've been able to get to this point, right? So well before, I even realized, what I was capable of, there were these individuals who did not have to actually spend any time with me, but they poured into me. They said, hey there, Karleton, you actually have a shot, you can do something special, or, keep your head up or something along those lines. And so over the years, to be able to have those type of relationships has really helped me fully realize my own value, right? And it helps me understand that that's something that students definitely need, and Build DC is through the power of mentorship has been pushing and helping and encouraging and letting students stand on its shoulders so they can reach their potential as well.
That's amazing. So what I'm hearing is that someone poured into you as you were coming up. And so you're extending that reach back and pouring into our youth today. And that is something that is so amazing, that is so essential. And you actually already answered my next question, which was going to be what role mentorship plays in developing our next generation of young entrepreneurs. And that is so key, pouring into them, pouring the things necessary that are key into youth. And so can you actually tell us about what are some key tools that every entrepreneur, youth or adult needs to know in order to become successful?
I think one of the most important things to understand about entrepreneurship is that it's a learning process. It's not something that you're going to get day one, day three, or day four. And you have to be willing to kind of put yourself out there, right? And not fail, but maybe not look as good, right? And in those moments of you not looking as good is when you learn the most about your business. The other piece I would say is be coachable. Definitely find someone out there who, runs a business like yours, a number of years ahead of you, right? So you can kind of learn from that individual, right? Because we don't want to recreate the wheel. I think the other piece is do not develop your businesses in a silo. That's very common. We tend to, our best thinking essentially is what we use to design a business, but essentially you are not the customer. Right. And so you need to talk to someone who is actually going to be the customer. And that's how you derive your value from that piece. So do not build in silos, understand that it's a learning process and be coachable. Like those are the biggest pieces. And then also just always thinking strategically. Right. We launch things out and we just kind of move full steam ahead and we never reassess what's going on with our progress and whether or not we need to adapt or change course. And so as long as you're, embracing those four things, I think anyone has a legitimate shot at being successful in business.
I love that. I love that. That not working in silos. I think that when we first meet, I'm an entrepreneur myself. And I started as a youth. Zannat, we'll get into that in a second. I actually started in my grandmother's kitchen, learning how to bake. And so my thing is not working in silos, because in the beginning, it's like, what I love to do is all that matters. But I think that what you said, like not working in silos helps you to see the bigger picture, It helps, include some other people into the conversation that'll help you actually grow more. So I think that's so important. And also staying coachable, like you said, I think we've all heard that if you feel like you've ever reached a point where you're not learning or that you're not willing to learn anymore, then you've reached your level of success that you're probably going to reach, because you should always be learning, always be coachable. So these are wonderful, wonderful tips. And so I would love to get into some conversation with our youth entrepreneur here, Zannat Faria. She is one of the CEOs of the Candle Essentials. She's also the Chief Marketing Officer for the company as well. And so, Zannat, we're going to get into some conversation really quick. But first, let's look at a little snippet of what the work that your Candle Essentials company does really quick.
No problem.
Hi, my name is Jayla Riddick, and I'm the Chief Operations Officer.
I'm Tyrone Leach, and I am the Chief Marketing Officer.
Hi, my name is Zannat Faria, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer.
Hi, my name is Faria Kelly, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer.
I'm Ariana Pittman, and I am the Chief Executive Officer.
Hey, I'm David New, the Chief Design Officer.
Have you ever bought a candle and got tired of it after a few weeks?
Or just had to buy many different candles just to get another smell?
Well, the Candle Essentials solves all your home decor problems.
No more wasting money on candles you don't finish, letting them take up space and look boring.
3 different candle scents in one jar.
If you pre-order now for $10.99, you can order from our array of aromas such as fresh winter, summer heat, spring blossom, and autumn leaves. We have the scent if you have the scent. The Candle Essentials.
All right. I am just wowed. You guys, what I see is unity. You guys have worked together. What I saw in that video, I just saw just amazing collaboration. Zannat, please first introduce yourself, start off and just tell us What started you out on this journey?
Okay, so my name is Zannat, or a lot of people just call me Zan for short. Originally, we were put into Build Metro DC as almost an experiment and just to try something new. But it was also scary because I was put in a group with people that I haven't ever met before. But it turned out to be really, really nice because through this experience, I learned a lot from other people, and I learned that community value is really important, especially within a business, because you need to create that relationship with not only yourself and your team members, but the greater world and the greater people that are beyond the limitation of your room. Because through that experience, you can forge unity and you can enhance your building skills within your team and within the business, because then you understand what other people need, what you need, and your worth and the worth of your product. So that was really nice.
I love it. You understand your worth, and to be so young and to have that conscious awareness of your worth, your value, and to understand that you need community value in your business. It goes to what Karleton talked about earlier of not working in silos. You started out so young and you have that understanding. And I think that is impeccable. I think you are a bright young mind. Your peers, you all are so bright. And I am so proud of you. I'm proud of the work that you all are doing. And so, what as Karleton talked about earlier, what are some entrepreneur skills that are important that you think are important for youth?
Okay, so to answer that question, I think it goes deeper than that, because coming from a disenfranchised school and a disenfranchised neighborhood on top of that, you see other people and people in power capitalizing off of your worth, your work, and who you are. And so in terms of Build Metro itself, and what Mr. Thomas has just said beforehand, you find that through this, you can figure out so much more and you can capitalize off of your own value, right? And so I think what Mr. Thomas had said before hit on some really, really key points. And in terms of entrepreneurship and the skills that I have learned, one that's super, super important is empathy and being able to empathize with other people. Because in order to grow your business itself, you need to be able to connect with others. And if you can't do that at a human level, then you can't move forward.
I love
and so
it.
empathy is key.
I love it. I love it. Can you tell us about some ways the Candle Essentials has been able to empathize with the community and has been able to work with the community in that aspect?
Okay, so this year we've actually been thinking about a lot of new ideas since our team has changed and shifted and some students have graduated. Our original mission was to bring vacation through seasonal scents and to go down memory lane. And I think coming from DC, a place that's super vibrant and full of life, that's very important. And so through our business, I think what we've been discussing was to provide scents that remind us of home. And so that's what we're working on so far, if I've answered your question.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, I know I love candles. I'm a candle lover. I can't wait to, try it out and all of that. I just think it's wonderful. So throughout owning a business and, being an entrepreneur and all of that, I know from my experience, I've had many obstacles along the way that I've had to overcome. And it was many days where I was like, oh, this is really hard. How am I going to make it through this situation? How am I going to figure this out? Right. And am I even going to continue doing my business? Right. So as a youth entrepreneur, can you talk about maybe an obstacle that you had to overcome, or talk about what that looked like and what made you keep going?
In terms of business, I think what was really hard was originally the mentorship, because within my school setting, it's not something that's very common. We don't really get mentors And so when we did receive one, at first it was like iffy. We didn't know if we were going to get along well or not. But then in the end, we did. And that was an obstacle that really created self-growth and growth as a team, because that made us, like, it forced us to work with others and it forced us to get to know others. And through that experience, you can really get a sense of respect, mutual respect between each other. And that's very key in a business, because you need to be able to trust each other. And so through the mentorship opportunity and through being iffy about it at first, in the end, it all worked out.
That's amazing. Trust. You say, so when you're working with other people, that key factor, what you just said, is trust. And that is something that you have to kind of just learn as a business owner. Mm-hmm. And that is impeccable that you have learned that early, because I know, myself and a lot of other business owners, we had some mistakes that we made along the way where we had to learn that the hard way. So that is amazing. So the last thing I want to ask you is, what are some ways that you think that people can support youth entrepreneurs?
I think intersectionality is very important. And so in order to answer your question, I'm going to focus mainly on my community, since it's extremely disenfranchised, and majority, well, actually all of the students at Roosevelt they're a person of color, either Black or Hispanic, but I'm the only Asian, by the way. So in terms of my school community and entrepreneurship, and what we need is mentorship, one. Okay. And number two, we need other people to be to be cognizant and to be able to understand what we're going through in order to bridge the gap, especially for youth, right? Because already at my school, the students have gone through so much, not only in terms of like academic wise, but also at home. And so when you want to start a business, it's important to understand and to know that every single student, they need a mentor that can be aware of their situation.
Zannat, I'm sure Karleton has something to say too, but Zannat, I just want to say that's a great tool. That's a great piece of information that you just gave us. Youth, especially, youth in our inner city, youth at different high schools, they need mentorship. They need people to come in to help, people to come in that show them that this is another option. This is another way. And I'm so grateful that you shared this with us, because it's very enlightening. It's very, warming to us to hear that, and to know that, the work that, we all do, we could even do more, it calls for more. And so, Karleton, can you actually talk about some ways that some young adults or some, business people that would like to get involved, how can they get more involved and mentor possibly?
Yeah, the mentoring piece of Build DC is huge, right? And I can talk definitely more about that. Our students, and they're developing their businesses, and when they're able to sit down with the individual who is accomplished in business and have conversations with them about their business, right? And see that individual understands them, it validates their pathway, right? It validates, it lets them know that they're on the right track. It instills a level of confidence that they can operate on that level, right? So when people come to mentor us, their mere presence, right, that they've showed up, provides a value to our students. And so, we are definitely looking for more mentors. You can go to build.org and sign up to be a mentor. It is the greatest thing you can do if you're looking to be something to somebody, be a mentor, essentially. Because there's no greater service you can do within the community than to help a student be successful. So please check us out on build.org. You can also find us on Instagram at Build Metro DC. You can sign up to be a mentor via the link in our profile. You can also just send us an email at build@build.org, and we will work with you from there.
And we're still doing this, doing the virtual, right? So we're able, someone that can sign up, they can get on and mentor someone virtually. Okay.
It's all virtual, flexible. You can actually be anywhere in the country as well. So if you are somewhere in Iowa and looking to be a resource for students, please come on board.
Yeah. So Zannat, can you tell us where we can find anything that we need to know about the candle essentials? I am so excited. I want to order something.
So the Candle Essentials, as a team, me and my other partner, we are actually still working on the process of creating a website. But for now, I think everything that Mr. Thomas has said, you should be able to find us through that.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I am, again, so thankful and grateful that you all were able to join the DC Creative Affairs office here today. And we are so grateful to have you. Do you have any last words before we tie it up?
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. You got to hear today about why youth entrepreneurship is so important to our community and the skills that are needed to become a successful entrepreneur, whether you're a youth or an adult. You got to hear about some great skills that are key into becoming successful as an entrepreneur. And you just got to hear also some great ways that you yourself can make an impact in your community and you can help. So I do hope you enjoyed this conversation today, our building our future entrepreneurs. And so we just thank you so much and we hope that you have a great day. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.